we go.
Yep.
Hello, 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 and welcome to PitchZone, weekly weekly get-together of coaches that help one presenter with a 3-minute pitch. And I'm wondering about you because today it's all about languages. And I've always, since I'm a kid, I always dreamed of being able to understand all languages in the world. How about you? Would you love to be able to understand every language in the world or almost every language in the world? If so, put it in the comment box. I'm really, really curious. And let's just say hello to GD. GD, hello, glad to be here. We are absolutely glad to have you here. So today's presenter is a very, very special individual. He is making inroads in an area that is pretty much dominated by the really, really big dogs. Big dogs. But he's making such tremendous inroads. So let me bring him in. Jordan Orlick. Jordan, how are you, my friend?
Hey, doing great, Claudio. How are you doing?
Really good, really good. Jordan, we met originally when you went through the Comcast Sports Tech Accelerator. And I believe that was an accelerator that helped your business tremendously. Tell us a little bit about your experience going through that accelerator and what happened afterwards.
Of course. Well, thank you first off for having me on today. This is really exciting. And with the Comcast Accelerator, it was fantastic. We got to meet with all the partners. We actually learned about what their needs are, especially with our business in translation. And now we're actually helping a lot of them out within pilots and rolling out here with official deals coming out early next year, which is really exciting. And it just really helped progress our business from more of a early stage startup to now of a much farther along early stage startup, but with actual deals in place and some revenue coming in here very shortly from it. So we're really excited, and it was hugely beneficial for the business.
Definitely excited for you, Jordan. This is absolutely amazing. And I know your technology, right? You have a couple of different products, and one of them particularly blew me away. It's installed on my website. It's installed on one of our coaches, Nathan's website, and it takes care of all the translation in a way that I have never seen before, where it actually gets the feelings across that I was expressing in the English version. So I am super thrilled to see what you are bringing us here today, Jordan. Let's bring in the coaches. The first one you already know very, very well, Nathan Gold. Nathan, thanks for coming back.
My pleasure.
How are you this morning?
I'm doing fantastic. I've been looking forward to this meeting since Jordan signed up.
Okay, same here. So, Nathan, I'm going to put you on the coaches row here.
Okay.
Stuart, coach number 2. Hello and welcome back, Stuart. How are you?
Hi, I'm great today. I'm really excited about this. I can't wait to hear your presentation, Jordan.
Jordan, you were teasing us too much last week when you came in at the very end, so we are really all looking forward. And here comes coach number 3, Rick Pollack. Rick is joining us from Boston, Massachusetts. Rick, how are you?
I'm doing fine. I'm looking forward to hearing Jordan's presentation and his pitch today.
Excellent. All right. So that gets us almost to the big moment, Jordan. Now, before in the back room, I totally forgot to ask you, are you going to present slides?
Yeah, actually doing a live demo, so it'll be exciting.
Okay, so maybe you quickly want to set up your screen, share the screen already now, and we'll just give you a moment to do that, just to make sure that it looks right. Yep, I see it come in. Okay,
All good?
cool.
Perfect.
Cool.
And
And that
stop
was
sharing,
here.
or is it
No,
a...
no, no. Leave it
Oh,
like that, and it will
perfect.
automatically, once you get to it, if I don't switch over, let me know and say, hey,
Oh,
I need my screen now, but I probably get it
perfect.
from when you say, yeah, let me show you how this works. Okay?
Perfect.
So, Jordan, you are ready.
Mhm.
As soon as you start, I will place a clock right above here that
Okay.
you can use as a guide. The goal is to stay
Okay.
within about 3 minutes. All right?
Perfect.
Are you
Perfect.
ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. The floor is yours, Jordan.
Oh, great. Hi, everyone. My name is Jordan Orlick. I'm CEO and co-founder of LetzChat. LetzChat specializes in real-time language translation services and innovations. All of our products span 104 languages with translation accuracies between 94.5 to 99% for all of our languages. Our translations are based on the user's device language, so there's no drop-downs, no pop-ups, nothing annoying on the screen. We know what language you speak, and we deliver the translations to you in that language. And we have all different types of products that range from instant website and mobile app translation, video subtitling for both live and on-demand content, SMS translations, in-person translations, document translations, and many more. If you have a need for translations, we either have a solution or we can build it out totally custom for you. And the product I'd like to talk to you today about is actually our newest product. It's called LetzChat Unite. And this is actually really relevant, I think, to a few of you gentlemen on the call here, as it is a presentation tool. You can speak into the product in English, and it'll automatically get transcribed into the language of the viewer. So you can have 20, 30, 40, 100 people listening in all different languages, any of our 104 languages, and it'll automatically get transcribed in their language as well as audibly hear it. And so if you're ready, come join me, and I'll give you a quick demo of this. And I think, Claudia, there you go. Okay. Oh, hopefully it shows up okay. I will make it a little bit smaller on the screen. So
No,
let me,
hold on.
oh,
I will
okay.
make better.
Much better. Okay, perfect. So what you're looking at here is the presentation tool called LetzChat Unite. The left side here is the presenter tool, which is what I'm going to be speaking into. The ones on the right are what the viewers will be listening in with. So I have one set to Japanese and one set to German for Claudio. And if you would like to follow along at home with this cool little QR code, if you scan it really quickly, you can actually pull up your own version of LetzChat Unite and follow along with me right now. I only have a minute left, so I'll leave this on the screen for you to follow along, but please feel free to scan that and join in on your leisure. So here we go. So I'm going to speak into this, and it'll come out in Japanese and in German. And if you hit the little play button, you'll be able to hear it as well. I won't be able to play it because I have my headphones on, so you won't hear it. But here we go. Hi, everyone. My name is Jordan, and I hope you enjoyed this product. I think this product is super exciting and can help open the world of presentations to everyone. And as you can see, it now showed up here for my Japanese speaker and as well here in German for Claudio. And you can also ask questions back as well, and I'd receive it in English. And with that, I hope you enjoyed it and looking forward to hearing your feedback. Thank you so much for your time.
Wow. Jordan, really, really well done. Not only pitch-wise, but product-wise as well. Before I turn it to the coaches, let me briefly go to the comments on YouTube, because we do have a couple of people commenting and questioning. The first one here, Massimo wants to know, what was the intended audience? And of course,
Oh,
usually
yes.
I always ask before, but simply slipped my mind. So what would have been the intended audience here, Jordan?
Yes. So the intended audience is businesses. We do all of our presentations are for other businesses, for new clients. With it, we actually have a few presentations coming up here in Thailand that I wanted to kind of prepare overall generic with it, and this helps with that. So
Absolutely, really, really good. And then Shil wants to know, what's currently available and what's the problem with it? Meaning, what is the competitive landscape and why aren't those solutions all that good?
Yes, great question. So this product that I just showed you, LetzChat Unite, this is the only thing that's currently available in terms of any type of translation for a group through complete AI and computer backend with that. If you think of the United Nations, for example, when you have someone up there speaking and you have 45 different human translators, this is what's equivalent to that, but all being handled by a computer system and AI doing that. You're probably obviously familiar with Google Translate, where it's a one-to-one type of basis where you can talk in person. This is primarily if you're not in person with someone. So like, or like for us four, or us five, for example, if you guys were all following along on your phone, we could be all speaking in a different language, and I could be doing it through Zoom or through a presentation like this. So that's
All
what what it is.
right, all right, very good. And we have Let's Go Viral joining us again. Glad I'm here. Well, we are glad you are here. Let's Go Viral. And another comment here from Gilles. Love the live demo. And I felt exactly the same. When you pulled up the live demo, to me, it was like, that's the engaging part. That was when I was like, okay, now you're making it real. So kudos for actually doing a live demo and not a recorded one, because live demos are more risky, but they're also more impactful, as some of these comments here are stating. The demo is great, right? Fancy and sleek. Wow, that's amazing. So your technology definitely resonates with people here. No question about it, Jordan. And again, very, very engaging. Now let's dive deeper into the actual pitch, into the sequence, into the delivery. What did you do really well and what could be improved?
Please, yes.
Rick, do you wanna take the start here?
Yeah, Jordan, I'm very impressed with the product, and I think one thing that I think you could do, especially since you mentioned the audience as businesses, you spent the first minute with just a list of features,
Yes.
and I wasn't sure of what the problem was, and then you started to
Okay.
say, well, it's LetzChat Unite. You got to that at around 50 seconds, and then around a minute 10, what it does. I think a more effective way to do it for the business is start up and say, what if you could talk to an international audience and what you're saying shows up in the different languages right away? Because you mentioned for people presenting and remote users, if you started with that,
Yes.
people would say, "Oh yeah, I have a problem with that." So if you get in that
Okay.
first 20, 30 seconds, people seeing the problem you solve and saying, yeah, I have that problem, I think that will grab people's attention a lot quicker, because the list of features, even in a 3-minute pitch, I'd
Yes.
leave that out, and that's the follow up there. So I would go into the
Okay.
demo
Okay.
sooner, and I would just talk about what you're doing and really what differentiates you or discriminates you from anything else that's out there. And what I caught
Okay.
is it's in the language. It's not by the IP address. It's by the language you have your device set. And I think just from the meeting. So if you were talking to someone in this group here, you've got Claudio in Thailand, but he also speaks German. You have the
Yep.
people in the U.S. You could have people from around the world. But an example of maybe 3 or 4 people remotely from around the world in different languages, and you're speaking, and they get the translation automatically on their devices. So
Right.
I think if you get that right in the first 30 seconds
That
to a
makes
minute
sense.
of what it does, and then the demo. When I was looking at your demo screen, you had your Japanese and German with some big
Yes.
text in the middle, and then very small text was your actual live translation.
Yes.
And I found that a little distracting. I was looking for that big
Oh,
text to
okay.
change. And
That
on
makes
my
sense.
small screen, yeah, I'm on a laptop here with a 14-inch monitor, but I really couldn't. I could see little text
Oh,
moving
right.
on your live translation, and I took for the advantage that you had different things saying, but I couldn't tell how accurate that was. So I don't know if
Right.
there's a way on doing a live demo that's people can
Yep.
actually read what you're saying in that other language and say, hey, that's accurate.
Yes. Yep, and
So I
actually,
think
thank
that
you
could be more
for
effective.
thank you. I totally agree with you. And we actually have a new design being rolled out here for this product. So it actually is, it does make the, because I got that feedback from Nathan in the past and a few of our other users. But same thing with the text was too small. So we actually made it bigger and have stuff move around. So,
Yeah, and I mean, even
but
for
you're
the
totally
demo,
right.
if you could just yeah, if you could magnify the screen on the demo, even if it's not that,
Yes.
just so people understand. But yeah, I think the content's there. I think if you just change the sequence into the problem you're
Hmm.
solving, what's unique
Hmm.
about it, and how it's going to make the meeting more effective for all these people
Yes.
in that the business they're not in person, but people are going to see it. And I think the UN was a good example too. That people
Mhm.
understand that people listening in all languages, and instead of 90 live translators, the computer with
Yeah.
AI is doing it. And I think
Mhm.
that was like, okay, now I get it. But that can
Mhm.
be up closer to the beginning of why you need this and what the
Mhm.
benefit's going to be. But great product, and I think it's going to go really well.
Oh, Rick, thank you so much. I
So
really appreciate that feedback. That's awesome. Thank you.
great.
Thank you.
Great.
Can I piggyback, Jordan,
Yeah.
on some of the things
Mhm.
that Rick said? I suspect we're all going to be in agreement today.
Mhm.
I really, really liked your presentation. There was so much
Thank you.
about it that was so good. You have a great
Mhm.
presenting style. You're such a smiling, friendly face, which is always an asset to
Mhm.
welcome people in. But
Mhm.
for me, the live
Mhm.
demo was
Mhm.
absolutely masterful. It blew me away,
Mhm.
both the
Mhm.
complexity and theory of what you were demonstrating, but the actual
Mhm.
simplicity with which you
Mhm.
demonstrated it. I have rarely
Mhm.
seen a live
Mhm.
demo that was so effective. And so I think a bit like Rick, my feeling
Mhm.
is we need that much, much earlier in your
Right.
presentation because I was
Okay.
so hooked from that point on. And I don't see why you couldn't actually start with the live demo,
Right.
then do a bit of
Okay.
explaining because it is fairly self explanatory, and then maybe
Right.
go back to another bit of demo because the way it just
Mhm.
worked was wonderful. In terms of the actual
Mhm.
beginning that you gave us, it was quite a conventional
Right.
hello, this is who I am, this is what I do, here are some of the things we
Mhm.
can do. And I just think
Right.
compared to the actual product when you got round to
Mhm.
it was night and day. And one other thing I thought was fascinating with
Mhm.
the product itself was
Mhm.
it slowed down your
Mhm.
presenting because
Mhm.
obviously you want to be allow it to translate what you were saying.
Yes.
And I actually liked that presentation pace that you
Mhm.
were speaking very clearly and it was very
Right.
easy to understand. Whereas I think at the beginning, for me, there was a
Mhm.
slight sense of, okay, we're rattling off a number of different
Mhm.
products and a number of
Yes.
different things. For example, translation. I mean,
Mhm.
we all can think of different ways that translation works. Maybe you don't need to go into
Mhm.
each and every one.
Right.
But the product itself and the way you demonstrated it, absolutely wonderful. Great job.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love this feedback because you guys, thinking about this as it started to go on. So I think Claudia was trying to say something. I apologize. Okay.
Mhm.
I was going trying, preparing for all this stuff. I'm like, how do I go about it? And I've never done like this the method that Rick and Stu you guys both proposed was start with the problem first and then go into the demo first. I always saved it for the end. But I love that idea now from your feedback and everyone's feedback from this. And I'm gonna start doing that now going forward because you're absolutely right, because your reactions to the demo is just makes me super excited and want to start with that first and get everyone, hooked with that.
Yeah.
This is excellent. I just want to jump in if that's okay, Claudia, or do you want to say
Oh,
something?
yeah, sorry, I was actually muted. Nathan,
Go ahead.
just go with it and I'll come back to the comments later. Please just take it from here.
Great. So, Jordan, again, I agree with everything our friendly our friendly coaches here have
Mhm.
told you, and it just
Yeah.
validates everything we've been telling you for the last year and a half or so since we met you. I do want to point out what Massimo in the comments has said, because we all really appreciated when you gave the UN example, and
Mhm.
literally you could start with exactly what he put in the comments.
Yes.
Imagine a UN meeting with Google Translate, but not one to one, or some flavor of that, where it says it's
Yes.
one to many. Take a look at
Mhm.
this. Boom, and you
Yes.
could get to that demo much faster. And I agree with everybody. The demo was stellar. A tip that you might want to do on your side, even though you won't have
Yes.
Claudio with you all the time to make sure they can see what you're telling them,
Darn it.
is you find this all the time with people. You have to ask your audience to either pin you or go full screen.
Yes. Yes.
Because if they don't go full screen or they don't pin you, then they won't be able to read the text anyway.
Yes.
So try that. And then let's talk afterwards about maybe bumping you up to a better Zoom account so you can do high definition presenting.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And we'll talk to you about that.
Yes. Perfect. I like
Very
that.
cool, very cool, very cool. And this round of feedback is continuing and continuing. Of course, we have plenty of time to look at all different angles here. The one big message is really, Jordan, the demo. The demo is like the one, that secret component that really captivates the audience. Massimo left another comment here. It's a bit of a longer comment, so let me see if I can fit it on the screen. He's gonna roll off here. Let's see. Let me just make this bigger. There we go. Okay, so you said something after the pitch that perfectly summarizes it. Imagine UN meetings with Google Translate, but not one-to-one, it's one-to-many. And I think that's also very good feedback or input, because this could be another potential great opener for you, right? Just with coming out with the, imagine this scenario. Well, you don't have to imagine anymore. Let me show you, and then immediately go into the demo, right? And that way you get Yeah. So, any other feedback, Rick, Stuart, Nathan?
Yeah, Claudio, can I jump in with a general point about when we as presenters present and we're demonstrating something or we have slides, and that is that you want to be very clear where the attention should be. So in this presentation you gave us today, Jordan, I thought it was perfect, but some of the feedback we're getting is you want to increase the size of the text so that the audience can follow the text. And it sounds like certain people are going to be wanting to confirm that the actual translation is correct if they understand that language. Now, if that happens, you are going to have to be aware as a presenter that at that point, that's where their attention is, and you don't want to be moving on with other important information. So I have to say, slightly countered to what the other coaches have said, I quite liked it as it was today, because I could see that there was language, Japanese language and German language coming in, but I didn't need to check. Well, in Japanese, I've got no chance of checking. German, probably not that great, but that was enough for me to see, it works. There's language coming in. This is about your presentation, not the correctness or accuracy of the product. So just be careful if you do start to allow audiences to see the language. Maybe it's a very simple sentence that's very easy to confirm, but definitely don't be moving on with a presentation when the audience is still focused on something. I'm not sure, Nathan or Rick.
No, I agree with you.
I agree.
For some audiences, they probably just want to see something popping up on the screen, and for other audiences, they might want to actually check into the language. So if Jordan is presenting to an entire Spanish group, then Spanish-speaking group, then sure, just make the Spanish larger, and it would probably be, then you don't have to show all the others as well. But I agree. Yeah, some people probably don't care that they can't read it. Others will want to lean forward and say, is that accurate? Like I know Claudia would want to know, is that accurate?
Absolutely. And I did have a look, right? And it looked smack on the German side. The Japanese, no clue, but the German, right on.
Yeah, I've got a question on accuracy. Nathan, why don't you finish it, and then I'll go ahead.
Okay, thanks, Rick. I was going to say,
all right, go ahead.
Stepping on each other here. If you notice in the chat window, Michael said something really cool, and that is, if you can speak another language fluently, before with at least one or two sentences. You could literally start, good morning, buenos dias, muchacha, blah, 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 and you speak in some other language. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot.
Right.
Let me help you out with that. And then you click a button, and right up on the screen, they see the Spanish translation or the English translation as you. I mean, that would be kind of funny to speak English and have the Spanish translation pop up on there. Anyway,
that would be really. I actually like that a lot. That'd be really cool. Yeah, thank you, Michael. I like that.
Yeah, and I think getting into the accuracy. One thing, Jordan, and you've probably seen this in your presentation so far, is people are saying it can't be that good, and I think you said at the beginning in your list of features 94 to 99% accurate, and I think a way to counter that objection is say we've tested this before where accuracy is 94 to 99%. And the AI is good. What it isn't perfect on is, and come up with something like that. Because what that does, that gives it credibility where it's saying that, hey, we've tested this, we know that. And when it comes to contractions or slang or whatever it is that misses that last few percent, if you say what that is, it gives you more credibility by showing that that it's not perfect, and here's where it's not perfect yet, but version 2.0 or 3.0 is, and we're working on that. So I think that gives it a lot more credibility for businesses, and it makes it also look like, hey, you're being straight with them. You're not trying to tell them it's 100% accurate. So I think if you can come up with an example, is we're working on getting that last 2 or 3%, and if you're a presenter, the things that it's hanging up right now on is slang or some some kind of or acronyms or something like that. So that might help, but by overcoming some objections and also giving you more credibility by saying that, hey, we know it's not perfect, but it's better than 100 live translators.
That's actually a really great idea, because I never thought about throwing that in there before. But you're right. I like that a lot, because you're right. It'll give the point across of, hey, we know what's wrong with it. We know how to, fix it and make it better as going forward. And also we get the feedback from the clients as well. So I like that, Rick. Thank you for that. That's actually a really good help.
I was just going to jump in on something to do with percentages, Jordan, which again is an issue that a lot of presenters face. I love percentages, but from my experience, most audience members aren't as fascinated with them. And so one thing I think is always important in a presentation is to really focus on what is the key percentage or the key fact or information that I want to share here. So when you said that the 94 to 99%, that came after quite a lot of information as well that you just fired at us, I would be thinking, well, what exactly does that mean? And as a presenter, can I just pick one and because to make it simpler? So you could, I mean, there are a number of ways you could go about it. You could say 94% or better. You could say up to 99%, or you could pick a number roughly in the middle and say on average 97%, but just one number, because whenever we hear lots of numbers, either an audience is likely to drone them out almost, or not make sense of them, or else they're trying to make sense of them, and then you've lost them again for that next bit while you've got important information. So always simplicity and just prioritize the main one would be my advice.
That makes sense. That's really great. Actually, that's a question I was going to ask you presenters later too, is what you think about that part, because that's something that I've had questions on actually since I started with the whole presentation thing with this. So I wasn't sure what numbers to go with. So thank you. I like that a lot.
And my feeling is that all of those numbers are impressive. So it doesn't really matter. I suspect if you said 100% accurate, we'd all be a bit suspicious of that. But they're all good numbers that seem to be where you'd want them to be.
Yes, correct. So completely agree.
I have one thing I want to add to help you bump up the impact of some of what you did here for us, so it's not 100% all good news. We always have to put a little bit of improvement in there, and it's good news.
That's what I want.
Good. It's just the ordering. just before you went into the demo, you went through a litany of products. We have this, and we have this, and we have this, and we have this, and we have
Yes.
this. And I felt like you would get better results from listing those after the demo.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yes.
Or leave it until after they react to the demo and they go crazy like we
Right.
all did the demo, and then saying, oh, by
Yes.
the way, this is one of, and then we can do this and we can do this, and then they go even more.
Yes. Okay. Okay. I like that. I like
It was
that's
almost
great. I like.
ice cream in front of me when you listed all those things, and I love ice cream, but I think it was too much.
Yes. That was
Okay.
that's actually a brilliant idea. I like this new layout. You gentlemen have all helped me with it. Where start with the problem, do the demo right after the problem, go into like differences, what our product is, uniqueness, and then talk about some of our other products after they already like that we have, and then possibly even another demo to close it up. So I love it. It's reworking everything.
point.
It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Good point. You could break this down into two parts of a demo, one where it's doing the language translation, and then the other one where they hear it. Because you just
Yes.
mentioned, and I receive it in
Correct.
English, which is cool. You get it in English, but you can also hear it in English, and they can hear it in Spanish or Swahili
Yep.
or something like that.
Yep. Exactly. Totally correct. And, you guys are awesome.
Well, you can come back anytime you want, because if you keep telling us we're awesome and fantastic, you can do it every single week.
Perfect. That's what I'm gonna do.
Very good, very good. A lot of great feedback, and as always. And of course, if anybody who's watching this either live today or on replay would like to be in Jordan's seat, please apply to pitch. Go to my website, sennhauser.com and /PitchZone. And the process to get here is very, very simple and painless. So I encourage you, take that leap, get out of your comfort zone, because this is how you improve your own pitch. Now, Jordan, one last comment from me is related a little bit to your close and to the call
Yes.
to action. There wasn't really a call to action, and I understand.
Correct.
In this environment here, you basically said, well, I'm looking forward to your feedback, and that's
Yes.
superb. Do you usually, like when you present to either customers, potential customers, or to investors, what kind of a close, what kind of a call to action do you have? How do you leave people with something that they can take away with them, that spins around in their head while they are walking away?
That's a great question. Usually when I do presentations, we usually keep it a very open forum type of thing. So usually actually I'll get stopped in the middle of a presentation with questions. But when I do pitches, that's a great question. Usually, I haven't thought about that much. I usually kind of just see how it flows at the time. But I like what you're saying. Have something to take home with them. What would you recommend, or what would be like a good closer?
Well, it really depends, right? Whether it's the customer pitch or whether it's an investor pitch, right? So if it's an investor pitch, always keep in mind, this is the start of a dialogue. So the call to action would be something like, and I'd be happy to continue the dialogue, or, it could be pointing them to a demo that you have somewhere online, especially the customers, right? So have something like, and please go here and see this and get that, and make it appealing enough that they really are tempted. Maybe, there's something in there for them if they do that step. So along that line, I just wanted to make sure that this is in your mind as well, that, it really, and this is with every presentation like this, right? It's like the opening and your close are the two most important parts. And those are the ones that I really think, they're the perfect place for that takeaway that you want people to take out of the meeting with them. And one effective technique to do that is also, for example, if you would start out with, imagine a meeting at the UN with blah, 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 right? And then tie back to that in the close, in the call to action.
Right.
And if
Okay.
you want to make meetings at the UN like this a reality, do this, right? And
Yes.
just
Okay.
loop it back
I like that.
and close it with these brackets before and after. All right. So any other last feedback? Nathan, Stuart, Rick, now is your chance. We have another good 5 minutes on the clock here. Nathan, you are muted. I can see your lips moving.
Yep. I just want to reemphasize what Stuart said a moment ago, which is your personality is your biggest asset.
Yes.
And you come across as very authentic, honest, and real. You don't sound like you're making anything up. So just keep up that Jordan, and hopefully that's exactly what audiences will pay more attention to, stay more engaged, and like you have a permanent smile on your face, and your voice comes across with happiness and joy. And who doesn't like to watch a presenter that presents like you? And very few people.
Oh. Thank you. You're awesome.
Keep it up. Thank you. Keep telling me.
I got.
totally
anytime you
echo
need it, just
that. Jordan, your personality is great, and in particular, one thing I loved about your demo was the way you said, "Come join me." And like, oh, we're off on a little adventure here, rather than a very boring kind of business presentation. It felt fun, and actually, when you present and you have fun, the audience has fun, and they match your energy. So definitely keep up all of that about your presentation.
Perfect. Oh, thank you. I definitely will. As you can tell, I love having fun and smiling. It's what makes it exciting.
Definitely.
And that's really, really it. It's like your passion, your joy, your enthusiasm comes through so well. And I always say, any kind of sales, no matter what it is, it's a transfer of enthusiasm. And so if you are so full of enthusiasm, your audience can't help it, but also get really, really energetic about it. So really, really well done. So
Thank you.
Jordan, this gets us pretty much to the end of today's session. Do you have any questions for the coaches or any comment that you want to make?
Yes, I gotta say, thank you so much for all your time. You gentlemen are amazing. This was some of the best feedback. Actually, let me change that. This was the best feedback I've ever gotten for any of my pitches. So I will recommend. I'm gonna do a little pitch for Claudio here, but any other startup or anyone who wants to do a pitch, I'm not lying. I haven't had this feedback before from any of them. So from everyone combined that I've done. This is fantastic. My pitch is going to be so much better now, and I'm totally following those steps that I wrote down that you guys all told me. So thank you so much for your time. This has been literally priceless for me and going forward with everything for our pitches. And I'm excited to show you my new pitch coming up once I perfect this, so you can see kind of how it tweaked with all your feedback. So
please do. We want you back. Absolutely. Want you back for sure. And I'm so happy. And again, for anybody who wants to pitch here, get feedback from all of the coaches, please apply, and we'll be absolutely happy to do that. And by the way, this is absolutely free, right? And there are no strings attached. We won't do any upselling of our services or whatever. This is our way to say thank you, because the startup community has been very, very good to all of us. And it is time for us to say thanks with a program like this. But we are not quite done yet. Because we do have in our green room our presenter for next week.
Ooh.
So let me bring in Chivana.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Chivana. Nice to meet you, and so happy that you could make it today. You are going to be the presenter for next week, Giovanna, and I'm curious, without telling us in detail what you're gonna do, tease us a little bit. Why should we want to watch your pitch next week?
Okay. So what I do is I am more of a designer. So I design faith-based clothing, and I feel it'll be great to join me next episode so that you can see the start of my journey. So I plan on doing big things and going big places, and I think that seeing me in the beginning, then you can kind of appreciate where I'll end up in the end.
Oh, wow, wow, wow. I
Yes.
love that spirit. And I know we had a short little talk yesterday. I know you are going places, Giovanna. You are.
Yes, I
So
appreciate that.
I am so happy and feel privileged to be able to see the start of your journey, help you guide a little bit. And I now really, really look so forward to your pitch next week. And with
Thank you. The
that,
privilege is all mine. Let me say, it's a privilege for me to be here in the room with you guys. Okay.
very cool, very cool. Giovanna, next week, your big day. And that's pretty much it for today. Thank you, everybody. Thanks the coaches that spend every week with me here in the pitch zone, helping founders at any stage of their game, right? We are not just here for early stage. Whoever has a pitch that you want to have somebody else take a real close look, whether it's a customer presentation, whether it's an investor pitch, whether you are early stage, late stage, it doesn't really matter. We are here to help you with your pitch. And with that, I wish you all a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world, and we shall see each other again next week. Bye.